Hello and welcome back to Seaside Garage. After a quick wash, my Abarth is now looking... It's a joke. Of course it's not my Abarth, unfortunately. But it is another Abarth. This belongs to a good friend of the channel who has helped me out a lot of times. He got so many spare parts for these cars. I think he got 5 or 6 of them. But he asked me if I could help him out with this one. And of course I have to do some test driving after the fix. Oh, it's such a shame because it's a race car, and I have to do some test driving to it after the repairs. Probably very long test drives because, yeah, it's just so unfortunate. Anyway, this is the same basic car as mine. There is a lot of race modifications on this that I'm going to check out because I would like to race my own, so maybe I can see it a little bit and see what he has done. This is the same engine as mine. It's the 70 horsepower, but I'm pretty sure that this got another camshaft, which makes it develop 80, which is something that I would like to do on mine as well in the future. And it's going to be interesting to try this out just to feel where that power is in the power band. Anyway, this got a modification that I have considered doing on my own. This got the trigger kit, the Cambelt trigger kit. As mentioned, I am considering doing this conversion on my own. At the moment, I am inclined to not do it, but it changes a little bit depending on what I read on the internet and what I'm planning on doing on this car. I think it's a neat little setup, this, but the thing is, it's a little bit difficult to find good reasons to do it, because normally I really dislike Cambelts. I don't think it's a great idea. I think the chain is a lot better. I have very few cars with Cambelts, and if I have a car with a Cambelt, I really like it to be non-interference. But on the Abarth, it's an interference engine, so if this little Cambelt snaps, you will have engine damage, and the chain will probably never snap. So this is just bolted to the engine. The chain and the sprocket will be removed, and then this little tiny Cambelt will be fitted like so, with no tensioner. So it's very basic, but as far as I know, the chain system, it doesn't have a tensioner either. But it's not the most precise thing in the world, I would say. But on the other hand, it's so tiny, so maybe it doesn't really need. But this is just bolted onto the engine, and I can see it down there. I think the main issue is going to be actually accessing the belt. What I'm going to do is to remove the wheel and see what I can see. The first thing that I need to remove is that big bolt in there. I am actually unsure if I will be able to take that off without lowering the engine. I don't know if I can get a socket on there. Nope. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a jack underneath the sump, making sure that I spread the load like so. And then I'm gonna undo the engine mount. With those out, I think I can lower the engine down just a bit until I don't think there is clearance enough to take the wheel pulley out. That was unexpected. So this pulley won't come off unless I think I'm gonna have to lower the entire engine by removing both engine mounts and either lowering it or pulling it a bit to that side because it's fouling the subframe, the cross member right there. So I'm going to lift the engine completely out of its engine mounts, hopefully by using this. It got rubbers, but the metal on the side gets very close to the paint, so I'm just gonna protect it a bit using this. And then feeding the chains through those. So with this clever contraption on, I got it on the lifting points on the engine. I should be able to just remove the engine mount on the other side, or at least loosen up the bolts so I can lower it down. I have undone the cross member going across there and up there also, because that is the last thing I think that holds the engine in. So far, chain or Cambelt. I think I like the chain best, because you never have to do this. But on the other hand, if you know this is what you need to do, it's not too bad. Still not enough. There we go. So now I just want to remove the bolts holding on the red part of the cover, and then the Cambelt should be exposed. There we go. This is off. Now I can see the Cambelt. Guess I need to remove this as well to actually get it off. Let's see if it's very tight. Nah, it's not too bad. That won't spin anything. I can remove this disc. I now have complete access to everything, and I could even spin the engine and put it on TDC if I want to, or the timing marks. There's a spot, and there's a spot. They are supposed to align right there. So you can probably see those two marks. They now align, so that looks correct. Now this is as basic as it gets, but still I'm just gonna do what I always do when I change the Cambelt, and that is just marking up 2 spots on this one, and then just 1 and this one, like so. And then I'm just going to pull the entire thing off. But I think I can walk it off like so. And I'm just going to leave the wheel up there attached for now, and then take out this. So this is old, but you know what? It looks completely fine. But it's just so unnerving to use the car, where you know if this one snaps, you're in big trouble. But this seems it feels completely new. A bit of rust on the inside right there, but from the wheel, of course, from standing still, but it's definitely not bad. Here we have the new one. Now it's very important to make sure that it is actually the same. 5132, 40 and 15 millimeters. Yep. And then I'm going to transfer the yellow marks from this to this. There we go. There we go. This one in there. Just get this one onto that little location dial right there. And then I'm just going to put everything back together. I don't know what the correct torque for this bolt up here is, so I'm not going to pretend I know. I think I'm going to give it 50 Newton. I think this will do. It's 98. I locked the flywheel with a screwdriver. So it's done, and all I need to do now is to feed it back into the engine mount, and then I can see if it runs for the first time in a few years. That's going to be very exciting. There we go. So it's back together, back on the floor. But I'm not gonna start it up now because it's very late evening. So in the morning, I will fire it up and hopefully it will work. And then I'm gonna be very, very unfair and then stop the video right there. And then make the test driving video of this a little later. I need to do an oil change and a couple of other things. See you in a bit. So it is the next day. And it's time to see if my work has worked. The thing is, I don't know if this car will start anyway because it's been off the road for so long. But I'm going to do the attempt. I think it stands a pretty good chance due to the overall condition and the storing and the way this car's been stored. And it's got electronic fuel pump instead of the mechanical, so I don't think that'll be an issue either. I'm just going to do a quick check of the fluids. And then I'm going to disconnect the ignition source because I don't want it to start before I know that the oil pressure is there. It's actually low on oil. So I'm going to add some in just for the startup. I'm going to change the oil altogether, but I'd like to be able to heat up the engine a little bit before changing the oil for real. That's the fuel pump. And the oil lamp is working. So now I'm just going to crank it. And I'm going to give it a bit of a break. It might take quite a while because there is an oil cooler and a big oil filter and so on. And it's probably drained completely back from everything. I'm going to try again. Going to give it a break again. Should have disconnected the fuel line because it might be sucking in a bit of fuel, which is not ideal. But I will be changing the oil, so not a big deal. Another go. Yeah, oil pressure. Nice. Now it's time to see if it actually runs. Gonna connect the ignition again. Gonna open up this. And then I'm going to jump in so I can give it a bit of throttle. There is a choke right there. It's going to be exciting to hear this engine run, if it works. How it sounds comparing it to my own with the chain versus the Cambelt. Let's see. Oh. There's great oil pressure. It's funny because it sounds like mine, just with a different kind of rattly sound. Still that sound, but not the... It sounds a little better, which is not a surprise. And it sounds really eager. It is more powerful than mine, I think. 10 horsepower more. We can go off choke now. Yeah. So it works, it runs. with the new Cambelt. That's nice. Is it too boring to make a driving video with this? Probably. Comment if you think so. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget you can support me. There is a Patreon link down below. And see you in the next one.